We now return to Let's Play Anno 1800. As promised, this will be just a walkthrough video where we will take this mountain path that leads all the way around to the mountain, or to the castle, I should say, on the mountain. This is the furthest point according to that map that I looked at, so that's all this is going to be, just a walkthrough. I don't know how long this is going to take, but yeah, here we go.
Please, sir, I have need of fresh air.
There's plenty up here as we climb a 80-degree grade slope. Like, this is a little bit much. So I guess one of the things I can do whilst we're doing all this is kind of give my thoughts on the game. I mean, I've given my opinion several times in many of the videos, but I don't know. I like the game, but it's got a lot of annoying bits. And I think maybe that's the problem, is that there's just a lot of everything. There's a lot of bad things, there's a lot of content, there's a lot of just too much. And maybe it's my fault for playing the game piecemeal the way I did. Well, not piecemeal. Altogether, as opposed to piecemeal. When the game came out, there was just the game. By the way, those bison are gigantic from up here. I mean, they're gigantic anyway. They're the size of a building. But yeah, so I think we are starting at the end point there. So it looks like there's a thing at the lake, is what that implies. Oh, there's a little spur around the backside. I may have to pay attention to that. Keep a screenshot of that map.
Think of all the good times we've had.
Wibbly. I hope there's more maps so I can keep up on that, because I'm not going to remember that at all. Yeah, so I mean, there's just stuff that's always going on in this game, and that is both good and bad. But I feel like that's largely just because of the DLC. I think that a lot of this stuff was designed with floating trees in mind. Good job, guys, getting that connected to you. Make this is literally what this is for: a ground down, first-person view of a rather scenic route, and you let this happen. I feel like that's just a small illustration of the things that are wrong with this game. There's continuing... I don't know. I saved the game before I started this video, so whatever bad happens...
It makes me less anxious about Western medicine.
It's gonna completely... I'll just revert it, so anything bad that happens is not going to be part of the campaign. So anyway, yes, like... constantly getting interrupted is one of the most annoying things. There's just so many little things, but how much of it was meant to be like almost an enforced replay for the game. Like the main game came out, people that were done with it but wanted to play more, so a big DLC thing came out. Okay, awesome, an excuse to play the game some more. So you finish that. Continue on with your business, another one comes out. Okay, then you play, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like where DLC evolved to be sort of a way of expanding the game, but more just giving you an excuse to drain more money, as it later turned out to. It became sort of a micro expansion, because games used to have full expansions. And then it became sort of a micro expansion where, well, how about just some DLC? We'll just add some things. And DLC sort of became a combined cosmetic only. You don't really need it to, sort of an add-on thing where it did add some more content. Now, like, you've got a full campaign. I mean, I say full. It's a micro campaign. So it kind of looped back around to that. But with this game, it's now sort of become a little bit of both. you've got your cosmetic DLC with this game, like the unnecessary uh, carnival stuff, World's Fair stuff. You don't need that to play. And then there's like the Cape Trelawney campaign.
You can see it's there for the taking.
I wish the game would just sort of pause all that stuff whilst you're involved in this. So, I mean, like, the game's kind of a mess in several ways, but it's just a mess of too much. I feel like it is a vast improvement upon the Anno 2205 thing that they tried to do.
You play me false?
The direction they tried to take that game was just not good. And you can see vestiges of it here. They tried to continue adding a little bit more. Is this even a thing? Like, why am I going down this way? The map was very ambiguous about some of this stuff. So I don't know. I think they kept adding stuff to make it quote-unquote interesting, to give you some replayability factor. Does this go all the way around? Is that what leads to that spur? Oh. Okay, well this might be a thing here. But when it's all clumped together, it's just too much. There's too much going on. It was kind of nice at the beginning when things were slow, to give you something to do, but I don't know. After a while, once the game gets going, there's no reward for it. You can do side quests for a lot of your competitors or whatever, build relationships, great, you get rewards, some of them are good, some of them are not, but you can't use a lot of them, and because of artificial restrictions, I don't see a reason why you can't build the trade unions ad infinitum. Again, I can see limitations in a multiplayer game, but playing by yourself, why the limitation? I guess, because, it kind of breaks the game a little bit, makes it a little too easy for some people, and, gives a sort of an artificial scarcity challenge where, well, now you got to decide which one do you want. You can't have all the upgrades, so which one's more important to you? But again, that just adds a massively unnecessary complexity to it that, well, I don't want to choose which bonus I get. Just, I went and conquered NPCs, so they gave me... That part is questionable in itself. Conquering NPCs, and then suddenly they've got a treasure hold full of items. It's like, oh, well, now I've got more items than I know what to do with. But, that's not necessary. You can just change it so that doesn't happen. But, so you end up with so many items, you don't know what to do. That's not really how I would have put that door if that were me. I would give myself a little bit more room. But, I don't know. It all feels very ham-fisted. And especially the newspaper thing, where it has massive implications for its effect on your settlement and your people. And that would be one thing if it was all based upon me. Like every time people complained about not having something for their needs or something that made them happy. That's on me because I am the one providing that for my people. But, when Anne Harlow just decides that, you know what, I'm going to start fighting you again, and then that gives you an at-war debuff, and then suddenly you got like a 50% riot chance, how's that my fault? I guess it's my fault for not taking all the cues that she was just always going to be aggressive and therefore should just be killed right as soon as you can get it. But, it's just it's bad. And when you're,
On the bright side, it'll be over soon.
I don't. Are the pirates back? I'm afraid to get out of this because I feel like as soon as I try and do the camera back down here again, it's going to not do good things for me. I don't even know where I am. Did I actually skip the spur? I thought maybe I was going up a backside, but I feel like this is actually the way. Because we're going into some mountains here. But then again, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell because there are no other maps. I should have taken a screenshot of that. But you know, like, you're doing well, so your city has a festival.
Our terms
Awesome.
of trade were a joke from the beginning.
Shut up. You know, you're having a good time, and so your cities are celebrating. Awesome. So the game rewards you for playing well, and they have a festival. And then it decides that the festival's over, okay. And your city suddenly gets uglier. And then newspaper guy says, oh, look at that, your city's ugly, so -5 happiness. What is that? Like, what the hell is that? Who made that decision, thought that was a good decision? Because at that point, I'd rather not have it. Now, I realize I can turn that off. I'm pretty sure it's in the settings that I can turn off newspaper guy. I can turn off a lot of things, actually, and you know, prevent that from having any impact whatsoever. But that's not the point. The point is it's a game mechanic. It's clearly by default on, so it's meant to be played with. So why is it non-functioning? You know, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And the riot chance is absurd. 50% riot chance, which of course means 100%. Basically, if it says you're going to have a chance at a riot, it means there's going to be a riot. I feel like the only way to maybe not have a riot is to have police down preemptively. But, you know, it's just like, there's going to be a riot, so just don't even bother. Don't even bother pretending there's a choice here. And that kind of leads to the artificial limitations of a resource again, where you've got the, what is it, the fame or renown or whatever the hell that you use. Now, I get that, you know, if you have a lot of that resource, it allows you to use it to override the newspaper. I kind of like that, you know. It's got Republic Times vibes. And if you don't know what the Republic Times is, that's the prequel to Papers, Please, which is on my channel under the Quick Plays. So, you know, that's fun. And I guess that having an actual impact on your relations with people is also pretty good. Like, it has a mechanical point and purpose. It's just the implementation that's bad. And, you know, I don't understand that renown thing anyway being as limiting as it is, because the only way to grow it is effectively to just keep expanding. And of course, the more you expand, the more problems you have, because you got to keep people happy, etc., etc. So, oh, have we reached a... Is this a base camp or is this the end? This might be the...
Do you call it altruism?
Okay. Apparently I have reached something that the game was meant to give me probably a good congratulations or a whatever. The site cannot something worded. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so this was the spur. This was the... Again, it would be nice to have a map so that we can just do this. It'd also be nice if I could just actually zoom into the path from anywhere rather than have to walk it all again. So yeah, like, I'm going like this whole time. I'm swapping in and out articles, building my trade unions, which I'm filling with all my stuff. That I earned, by the way. It was a pain in the ass getting rid of that NPC. But, so I go to all this trouble, and then I'm starting this new campaign, and suddenly I'm out of the resource. Suddenly I can't put down new trade unions and expand because I have drained this arbitrary resource that should be cumulative just like any other resource. In my opinion, it should not be things like, artificial milestones of, well, your settlement grew and you added a little bit more and all this stuff. It should be based upon happiness. So, more of a political clout thing where as your people maintain happiness, it gives you a small amount of this renown over time. I mean, it could be a combination of both. In fact, a hybrid situation would probably be best. You earn big experience, I guess, because your character does level. To what end, I don't really know, other than just, achievement points or whatever. But, why not have that? So it's like, oh, you hit a milestone, your city is now a city or a pleasant village or whatever the hell all these little things were. So you get big bonuses there, but over time, for keeping your pleasant village happy and problem-free, it should slowly trickle in some of those points so that you can continue to use it and expand. In my mind, there is no reason for having any limitation like that in a single-player game. It's a big enough game that I don't think it makes it too easy at any point. And if you're just going to keep expanding through the expansions, it's nice to have your previous areas set up so that they function without having to worry about going back and forth all the time to make sure that they've got the resources or whatever. Get a big island set up, fill it full of trade goods, trade union goods that give you the bonuses and whatever, and then use that to move on. I mean, that's kind of the whole point of Anno games, is the colonialism, where you've got your main island that is there up and running to supply all your other... Sorry, I'm trying to get my mouse over to my screen. For some reason, my mouse is now in my other screen, and yet it is affecting the camera in the first screen. I have scrolled over that much. So, like, I've gone to the trouble of making this badass capital city. Awesome. And then, is this the way back? And then, so it should be able to supply everything. And if I've got it because, I've got a farmer that gives me 25% production bonus, and I've got 4 of those, so I've effectively got a free building, then so be it. What does that matter? Why am I not allowed to do that? Again, limitations in a multiplayer could have impact on that, but the easy solution to that is just to eliminate that, to turn off trade unions in a multiplayer game, and not even just forcibly do that, let the player decide. When you set up any game, whether it's a sandbox or a multiplayer or whatever, you can set the parameters. I'm pretty sure even during the setup for starting the campaign, I could have turned off NPCs, I think, if I wanted to. So, let the player decide their parameters. If they think that it's broken to allow the trade unions to give production bonuses and all that stuff, then turn it off. But for a single-player campaign, where there is just so much to do, so much to keep track of, to micromanage, there's no reason to have a thing where, I'm setting up an island and, oh, I can't put a trade union down because I don't have enough resources. And for some weird reason, when I've found another path. I don't think this is going to take me back to the lake. Maybe it will. I don't know. But, yeah, it's really, really irritating. If I hit shift, am I going to run? Oh! Well, I know it gets really loud and obnoxious, and I actually have no idea how loud that is in comparison to my own voice, as well as all the rushing waters and all that. But, oh, this is definitely a different way. This is definitely a different way. I don't know, it's just not how I would have done it. And as someone playing the game, it's not how I appreciate playing the game. You know, I don't appreciate how they did it, because this is just it just feels messy. You know, there feels like there's is that the path into the mountain? I think this might loop round to the...
has ended.
Well, let's go find out. Let's go find out where this is.
The city has grown uglier.
Okay, this is a new thing. There's a tower here. Oh, maybe not. Maybe this is just a stopping point. This appears to be a dead end. Okay, well... I mean, thanks, I guess. Is that really all that is? Yeah, that's all this is. But I don't know. The game has just had this very sporadic feel to it, and there's a lot of going back and forth that is ultimately what really annoyed me in 2205. I don't think it was a good choice. Going to multiple locations as opposed to being stuck on one map, as was traditional for Anno, does
shortage.
definitely expand on a lot of things. It lets you get away with opening the world a bit and making it more interesting, and I get that. But this seems like a dangerous place to be walking. Am I wrong for that? But I feel like it would just have been a lot more, a lot better. Okay, I'm gonna have to get my mouse over here somehow. Spin around to the left for a while, because I'm about to start clicking on things in the other window here. I feel it would have been better if I could have felt like I could have just let something go, you know. But when I was done with Ditchwater and moved over to Bright Sands and all that stuff, I'm right there in the same map, so going between those islands and all that is a little bit annoying. You know, it's kind of annoying to rebuild your island again. That is a massive eagle. But I'm still in the same island, you know. I could have just ignored Bright Sands. I didn't have to do anything, just like I did in the New World when we took over Paradise, or whatever the hell it was. I didn't expand to that new island. I didn't have to. And I only took it back because the NPC tried to take it from me. So, that's on me, really, there. But when I've got that island locked down, or that region locked down, and then I go to a new region to start over, but the problems still persist from the old region, and I gotta go back and do that. And, I get locked into a war that now is in another zone, so I gotta go do that. And, I mean, there was so much distraction throughout this series, where I had meant to get something done, and I ended up not, just because I was focused on something else. I got so distracted, and I just don't... I don't know, I know that there was a point... oh, so I can go through the cave, or I can go... up here? Yes. There's a path up and below. Let's go through the cave. I know that my attitude sort of went south for several of the episodes just through the annoyance. Oh, this was definitely the right way to go. 9. 9. I'm not sure what this is indicative of. Ubisoft did not try and give me a... Oh god. My mouse is over again. Okay. Well, I don't know what this is meant to be, but... just a little stopping point. But, that's just... I think that's probably my biggest complaint. Was just being dragged around all the time. It was so hard to progress in the game. Just because of all this other crap going on. That it really I didn't think was necessary. And, the rest of the annoyance was just, like I said, the newspaper, and how unfair that was.
It's out of my hands now.
Yeah. And, just the ships, the ship combat. I appreciate that there was a lot of controls in that. You could tell them to group up, be individual, make them aggressive, make them not so aggressive. The grass just hissed at me. It gives you options. But at the same time, it is incredibly clumsy and clunky, and makes the AI do some really dumb things. When you're trying to tell your ship to attack another ship, in any other sort of ship-based combat game that I think I've ever played, possibly including any other Anno game that I've done for the channel, the ships sort of lock on and start circling their target so that they are always trying to face the ship and keep firing at it, etc., etc. In this game, because of the grouping mechanics, because of the confliction that can cause with their level of aggression and all that, they might fully pass the enemy ship and make some weird attempt at circling back or whatever. Okay, apparently this is not. Apparently this is just a vista point. You can see the road though. So if you actually did build your island fully, we can see the city a little bit.
Workforce shortage.
But I don't know. There's a lot of things that I did not like about the game that I feel could have been tightened up and or just gotten rid of altogether. It's just a lot to handle, a lot to keep processing. It would just be easier to simplify it and do basically destroy your settlements. Honestly, I feel like it would just have been a lot easier to have destroyed things once I was done with them, and then not have to worry about them. Is this even the right way? I guess I'm just going around, but I feel like I've gone the wrong way. There's a boat here I can sort of get to. So yeah, I guess this was a good idea to go this way then, huh? Or give this its own episode, because this could take an hour. I don't think there was anything that I missed over here, really. It didn't look like it. Yeah.
The festival has ended.
The city will soon be uglier. Is this the way we go? Or is that the way we go? I really don't understand why they... Oh, okay, I guess we don't go that way. I don't understand why they only put that map in one place. It'd be nice to keep my bearings. To have it in a few other places. Holy shit. Is that a wild goat, or was that one of mine? Am I that close to my... See, now do I go up there, or do I... Nope, this is another vista point. We're definitely not that close to anything. That must be a mountain goat somewhere. We are getting there, though. We're definitely getting there. But, you know, I do appreciate that the DLC content at least tried to add things that, you know, gave it a little bit more flavor. And I feel like they did it in a good way. Like, they were successful in, like, the sunken treasure... This seems like a very dumb and dangerous thing to do. Okay, we're getting out of here. You know, it was kind of clumsy and ham-fisted.
This city is a magnet for genius.
But it did add something to the game. The problem is that because it's DLC, it was unnecessary. You know, ultimately, the DLC for the Sunken Treasures was recursive. You know, you would use it to go find goods and scrap. You know, items, again, that you may or may not be able to use, but then scrap that you ultimately use to make items to help you find more scrap. You know what I mean? Like, it felt a little redundant. As opposed to, like, what we were just seeing there with the Arctic expedition, a lot of that stuff, when you go find scrap and tools and materials, lets you make an item that you can actually have impact on your buildings and your settlements. Again, though, so what? Like, you can make some really good items. It looked like they were really good items. I mean, quality level is always subjective. It's what the game developers say is a legendary item or an epic item or whatever. But oh, there's a grave over there. I wonder if each of these is not a way marker, but an indicator of something they added for, like, a screenshot moment, maybe? Oh my god, I gotta spin left to get my mouse over here again. You know, so even though you can create these items and, you know, you play this little mini game is basically what it is, you're still stuck behind that artificial limitation of floating flowers and grass, of, you know, I can't put this down anywhere because I'm limited in my trade union space and capacity and making another one and all that. So again, it comes down to, well, you know, you're supposed to choose one and it's supposed to give you, but why? You know, why can't I have someone that improves my milk production or whatever the hell, but also, what's that out there? But also does this new thing that this item that I just went to the trouble of making, gives me. It just doesn't make a lot of sense, is all. There's an abundance of everything. Jesus Christ. That scared the shit out of me. But But then there's artificial scarcity, you know? I don't feel like I would have had nearly as many items in the game as if I had not gone on a conquering spree. I don't get that decision. I mean, I appreciated it. It made me, it helped me out a lot. And it makes a lot of sense that when you fight enemies, you get their cannons and all that stuff. That was nice too. But, you know, it wasn't necessary. And if it wasn't going to let me use all those items to begin with, then why did it give them to me? Shipwreck.
The festival has ended. Your city has grown uglier.
You can see the castle now coming through the trees. What's this overlooking? Wild boar? Can't. Okay, I don't really like what the camera's doing there. No, it's a moose. It's looking at its antlers. So we're almost there. This was a neat little idea. I was lamenting earlier in one of the episodes about how... So those must all be sightseeing spots then, huh? Beware of bears, stay on the track. It wouldn't even let me get off the track to begin with. It's on the outside of the castle. I did not know this was even... I don't even remember how I found out about this. Well, we've already been in the castle. I guess I can try and give it a little bit bigger look. It doesn't look like this is done yet. Does this take me down? Maybe it gives me one last lookout point over the entire island. Maybe that's what that is. They went to the trouble of all this. It would be nice if something actually came of this. Oh, okay, here we go. Is this the furthest I can get up here? That's pretty cool. You'd think maybe there'd be a... Oh. There's a ghost wall. Well, that sucks. It'd be nice if maybe you could have gone in here. Like there's a little open door that, you know, you go into that room. Okay. Not sure I was meant to go that way. All right, so let's go down this last little bit of the pathway. See what it provides. Can you imagine if this pathway was the only way through the mountains and building a castle? Okay, coming my way. Building a castle. Like the king wants to build a castle. Can I even go through here?
Many previous expeditions became lost in the ice. Most were forced to leave valuable resources behind. We could look for them.
We could. Am I gonna get eaten by a bear? That'd be kind of funny, you know. It's like, watch out for the bears. And then you get to the end of this route, and it's like, well, you know what? I don't think we're on the. I don't think there is a path anymore. I think now I'm just down on the ground. I could probably actually walk this whole thing and make my way
Please, we depend on you.
back down to the city. Maybe? Oh, I was getting stuck on terrain there. Interesting how close those are. Really. That's Wibbly's. He just started that island. That's another problem. The AI cheats. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. The city doesn't look that big. It's considerably bigger than the ones I was working on, but, I mean, the NPC buildings all look way bigger than what I've got. Be interesting to fill that all in and look at it. But maybe when we return to the series someday. Come on, where's the lookout point? Oh, wow. One thing I really do appreciate about the game, obviously the graphics are nice, but it feels like a living city. 2205 definitely did not feel living. It just was generic, bland. Oh yeah, I could definitely... Should we go get eaten by a bear? Let's end this by getting eaten by a bear. Why not? If it will actually let me get there. Oh. Did you just... I wasn't the only one that heard that scream, surely. Where'd the bear go? Oh. Hit a wall? Look, I'm just trying to get eaten by a bear. Can we just... I saw one. Okay. I heard one. Wolves? Wolves. Bison. Well, Jip. I came here looking for a bear and I didn't find anything. The wolves weren't aggressive. I wonder if the bear actually is. I know there's a better way to do this. I could just camera out and then come back in. Let's see if I can't get me a good vista point. Eh. Alright. Well, that was fun. I did not know that existed. Wow, we made it pretty far. Let's see if I can deliberately find me a bear, maybe. Come down on it. Wolves. Yeah, whatever. Alright, so I guess a lot of bad stuff's probably been happening while I've been ignoring all that. No, I'm not going to collect you because I'm not keeping this. I'm not keeping this at all. This, boy oh boy. These guys really filled in, didn't they? Given a chance to do it all over again, I think I definitely would have just said, you know what, screw this, let's just play sandbox, take all the NPCs out of it. I think the game would be much more relaxing doing that. But, I wonder if it's going to let me get on here. Probably not. But, yeah, I don't know.
The people celebrate your leadership.
The game was fun to begin with. I really enjoyed it to the point that like my first recordings was like you know, I did like 10 episodes pre-recorded, just ahead of time. You know, I just kept recording the game. But as it became more annoying, it just became more of a chore. And I don't know how else to enjoy the game differently that it would have made this less aggravating, less annoying, less hectic, less back and forth, all that stuff. I don't know. I gotta say, though, one of the first things, having discovered out of this game, this 10 by grid, this really helps. Really helps determine your layout. It's a very good thing for trying to fit things in. If it doesn't work, you know, you can just tear out a road here, there, whatever, and it works. I would highly recommend doing this. It allows you to have a very expansive city, and really, really helps keep it organized. It is kind of annoying, though, just how small of a radius these things have an effect on. I definitely think that the warehouses are tiny, but I just don't recall having to make so many buildings in... But then again, maybe I just never made cities of this magnitude in the other Anno games. I have always been rather a minimalist city builder in my games. I try not to have so many things that I don't actually need or think I need, but... Anyway, we will return someday to this, as I said in the last episode. So, that was our little walk around. That was interesting. I would have liked to have seen what that website was supposed to have popped up with, rather than just blank, and I don't know how long ago they would have turned that off. I mean, it's still a pretty recent game. It is actually still in development, so maybe it was just an issue. But somewhere out here in the mountains, down that spur, was that little spot. I don't even think I can get there with the camera.
The fire is out of control.
I think I actually had to get there by walking on the path. I don't even remember where it was. That's out here somewhere. But if you take the time to walk it, you are rewarded with a blank page that says, sorry, this didn't work. So, that's fun. I'm sure I can look it up somewhere online, or you can as well. And I'll be out there for something. Anyway, time to end this one here and go do something else. So, thanks for hanging out. I'll see you next time.